And we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake.
Yes, hello, good day, good night, good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you listen. We're here live from City Hall's possessions, which happens at the Kitty Market here in Kitty. And we're upstairs, actually. I know this place was renovated not too long ago. So today, lots is expected to happen here at this statutory meeting, where, of course, the big topic is going to be about the investment and the lands and who owns. And as shown clearly by the General Secretary, the layout, it's extensive through the years, who had and where, and why it's very much in process for the five-star hotel that is proposed for the site. So we suspect that is going to happen today. And of course, you're going to hear from different reports that they would have here at council, as usually happens on statutory. And so we encourage you to stay with us, share the live, tell your friend, relax. Remember, you can listen without looking. You can still do your work whilst you keep looking. And we have a councillor here with us this afternoon. We're going to hear from him, give us an update.
Thank you for bringing us again.
Councillor Dion Young, how are you doing?
Good, taking it easy. Going with the development.
Okay, not too stressed out.
No, work, no. Development, can't stress out.
So you're accustomed to it right now?
Accustomed to progress.
Council goes.
The season to it.
Constituency 5 you're in,
Yeah,
right? What's
Constituency
happening there?
Look, Constituency 5 is, if not the largest, one of the largest constituency of the 15. And it comes from the seawall, what we say the seawall, all the way to what we call the Black Hawk, which is the back of Guyana. If I am to start labeling the amount of work government is doing in that locality, it can take me from now to almost Christmas. And if I'm to give you the amount of lack thereof of attention City Council is giving, it's just going to take you 2 minutes alone, because City Council, absolutely nothing.
So I'm certain roads are doing,
there are roads
are being done in the area.
Roads, play field, and there's work to the health center, the school, you name it, is ongoing. And I think most of we talk about physical, right?
Yeah.
Like about roads and everything, but then there are a lot of people in the area who don't have to go far for the pension now. They got the school children look up to when there was a strike. There were people in the area, who were giving services back to the community, right? And look, pension coming to our area now.
What's up?
Yeah, pensioners, this is thing happen for direct people. The old people again, the elderly people, for want of a better word. Now, getting back the subsidy. It's better for them. They ain't got to go to a GPL line, they got to go to a post office.
There was a general feel in the community towards what the government has been doing so far.
The general
Even if there are things that are supposed to be done by the council. You understand?
But this is what's happening. The work is supposed to be done by the council is currently being done by central government.
We have time because we're going to be here. So we're going to catch up with you a little later.
I'll be there.
The broadcast. But it's good to see you once more, Councillor Young. And all the best. We're in this for the betterment of the city and for the citizens of Georgetown.
Yes.
Nice seeing you. So we're live here at City Hall. Well, we're at the Kitty Market where the statutory takes place. It's been happening for a little while now. We have quite a few councillors. Here we go. Sir, how are you doing? Well, when you're looking so quick, you have to introduce yourself as councillor.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes.
My name is Mohammed Isri. I'm the councillor for Constituency 1, and I'm here with the big Malcolm. So I want to hear
Oh, how have you been? How have you been?
I'm good.
You're looking fresh, man.
I gotta do something. And just see.
But I see you've been out and about working.
Well, the groundwork is very important. Without the groundwork, we're not getting. So we have to come out. We have to go on the ground. We have to carry out the groundwork in order for we get the way forward. Because the people get to know who really responsible for the development of the city. Because honestly, it's not the city council, it's the central government. We are a council from the central government, and we're working strongly with the central government to development of the city. So as it is right now, there is a lot of things going on in the council. I cannot really explain because there is so much. And the council failing the city for over 5-6 decades, and we need a chance. We need a big chance in the city for great things.
The things happening in your constituency done by the central government,
Yeah,
right?
but everything happening in Constituency 1 is done by the central government. Nobody else is coming there and doing anything. The council is coming there and doing anything. Right now, there is a lot of issue in Constituency 1 whereby picking up garbage. They have to remain garbage is left there. And the carpet waste tremendously in Constituency 1. I want to look at it. So, work with the central government, see how we do the assessors getting it done.
Oh, so had it not been, then it would have been in a worse state.
Well, if it wasn't for the central government, it wouldn't have been in such a reasonable way it is right now, because they help us to get it, you know.
The council is good seeing you. We can gap a little bit, we're trying to squeeze in everybody. Congrats to see you being out in the field doing a lot of work, Councillor Mohammed Ishriani. We also have another man who's been out and all over. So I am recently in Border Market, councillor. We're not there, right? How are you doing?
I'm alright, I'm good. Just say generally, experiencing some of what you may have experienced in the past in council. It's a hell of a ride, isn't it?
Yeah, I do understand the challenges and the lack of focus in certain areas that are in need of important action and quick action. So it all jumps over now where you have to put central government and to be able to get things done.
Right. There seems to be a bit of a disturbance from the PNC as usual. Yeah. We have access to Use village, right?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. You're not distracted. You see that? That's nonsense. They're worried about us being on camera. They're saying go bills and propaganda. And this is what happens in council. We very rarely get anything done because of this yip.
Everyone asks if he want come and he want come.
And there's Mr. Jones asking if he wants to come on camera, then he doesn't want to come. That's all that happens in this council. No tangible work is done because it's just a bunch of talk. Unlike us real people councillors, we go out there. If we were at Border Market, we were there one day, and the very next day we went and fixed pipes and get stuff done. We have a whole list of things people do. I mean, simple things.
You got to show the
$5,000 value things to fix. I mean, so that's what we are. So you see one big uproar simply because we're on camera.
Why would someone want to come on this broadcast when they have their broadcast that they can go on?
Well, I mean,
everyone wants to come here, right?
Yeah.
We do understand the reason why, but
Mr. Jones, a very popular man, as well as you.
I'm just being a bit sarcastic.
Everybody wants to get a Wickedy show.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah,
this is
it is comic, and this for the next.
it is expected though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
It's just a bunch of talk. I mean, the same guy who was protesting Elodie in the back there, former head of CHNPA,
Mhm.
Mr. Leland Saul, and up to 2 weeks ago, last Saturday, he was telling us to ignore whatever the land survey has said. This is the former head of CHNPA. I said, let's ignore lands and surveys. They have nothing to say. So that is where we stuck. This is where we stuck with. Um,
How are you coping with it?
Well, I cope with it. I mean, you do have to have some thick skin in here, because they will throw slurs. They will make remarks about your red attire, as I am now, and I make sure I wear red attire because I'm a very proud member of the PDP. I stand up and the policies that the central party brings and directs us with. Very proud of that. So I deal with it. I just
I believe if there was a push towards getting things done with the same fervor and the same energy as there is all sorts of words being thrown around,
Yeah.
I believe we could get at least something done.
use that energy in a positive manner to get. You don't have to get great things done. Just get small things done. The constituents who elected you and put you in this position ask you to serve them. It's very simple. It's not hard, but we'll sit here for 6 hours, 7 hours. The mayor will come with his agenda, and then we will go nowhere. He will come with his own points, his own headlines, his own social
You
media.
foresee a suspension of the standing orders? Is it?
Most likely, because I've seen him on social media and of the leader of opposition's press conference, whereas I've told the president that he must in 7 days respond to me or there'll be court of action, that kind of thing. So he's coming with some vehemence, and we will have to answer him. Because this is matter with the Qatari lands are very well ventilated by now, and then they're wrong. So what they're doing is blackmail. They're trying to blackmail this president of Ghana, which will never work.
I guess this will be dealt with at this meeting as well.
Well, absolutely. One way or the other.
I see, of course, the lands and surveys and all those involved and all those who have the records released an extensive explanation. I took my couple of hours to go through.
Right? I
Yeah,
read like
to-
4 times telephone and I'm like,
Then you really
right.
get a full understanding of what they're actually saying.
Yes.
I mean that this is legal and well within the right of the government
Absolutely.
to seek. Not this is some people put it over as oh, it does give away. This is for a major development. This
Major.
Can you be an oil nation? Can you be a progressive nation? Can you be a modern nation if you don't have one modern accommodating facility?
Right?
One. Just one.
I mean, this development is so fantastic. You just have to read the periphery and know what it will do for Georgetown and Guyana on a whole. I mean, we're building a tour. We want to avoid the Dutch disease, as we say. Right. So this is how we do it. We build a tourism product. We're developing our agriculture. I mean, don't let me stray away from council business, but
This
yes,
Because the lands we kick it up.
it is lands. But this benchmark resorts, suites, condominiums, developing the whole seawall area there. It is pivotal in the lives of so many in Georgetown and the people who will come to Georgetown. I mean, and all the subsidiaries that come from it, the taxi drivers, the prostitutes, the cleaners, the gardeners.
It had to be dancing to
Well,
bring in
sir.
to bring in the part of it.
Prostitutes deserve love too.
I don't say that they shouldn't have love, but it would have to be utilized to list that it benefits them.
I think of every one of my constituents and every one of my Guyanese
We
people.
must have another conversation about your constituency as it relates to, because it seems though you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight into stuff like that.
I talk about my constituency.
Mhm.
There's a plethora of foreign parts turning up. I don't know what they're doing, what they're not doing.
We'll find out though.
We'll find that out.
All right then.
All right. Thanks so much for
Councillor
appreciate
Singh.
it. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Good to have a good chat with one of our PVPC's councillor. And we have Madam coming here now, former mayor of Georgetown. How are you, Madam? Chase. Good day. Beautiful, is it?
Thank you very much.
How you been?
I've been good all the time.
Very nice. I was gonna give you. Oh, when I see you, I just can't say hi and thing, mean? So,
Sitting here.
yes, you're there, hey, Warren. Seeing you, we're hearing you, we're seeing the team outside. We seem the standing for what you know is right and what's supposed to happen. We're very much aware. I must say you're
That's
working.
Last week, you want to vote to have it ordered out to the meeting. But I mean,
You can move on. Who did that?
last yeah. Oh, but some of it is sad. We got notices for a meeting today at 1 o'clock. There's no what time, to be exact.
It is
Tardiness of this mayor is only
1:30 onwards.
the meeting is normally 2 o'clock. The asked if it's today for 1 o'clock. Everybody put everything that they have to do on hold because we think we're committed to the citizens of Georgetown and we're here to start the meeting at 1 o'clock. 1:30 is still not here.
Wow.
But there's enough forum. I don't know why the town clerk doesn't call the meeting to order under the deputy.
That could happen.
Can happen.
But I've been here a few times and we've never started. Well, you guys have never started on time.
We've
How
never
does this?
time.
Is this a reflection of almost everything that happens and how it happens?
Well, I mean, March, I'm sitting
Well,
out.
in the head is
You know why we start out and maybe try to our best to do everything according to the citizens and the request of the citizens. My meeting was to the point and we dealt with matters of the city and we had results of those matters. What we're doing here is this week. We've been here. They could not show you one single project that was put online that has been completed.
and running and
We're still running as people. Today we're going to be another talk shop and he's going to pay attention to things that is really not of interest to the citizens. Right? We got to board the market history. Fair enough, I was mayor, but I had never had it in that state. I did work as mayor.
so you've been there recently.
Right.
How did you feel when you saw?
Very
Well, I
upset.
know you outside of the group, you pass those places by yourself as well, right? So
Very upset
very upset.
because that's the place that feeds the nation. And the sanitary conditions are atrocious. It has been worse than it ever was before. There's a pipeline in the Desilting where the vendors were getting water from stagnant water that bringing in that pipe there. Luckily, our team went back the next day with GWI. We were able to fix some of these problems. But these things are just a phone call away. If he was up and around and walking the markets, he would see those things are happening. He would hear the cry of those vendors. I spoke with them in 2023 and I asked that we have a general meeting, maybe at Independence Park, Warren Sport. Entertain all the vendors say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the markets individually. To date, he has not done that.
Why would you think
I don't know.
resisting such,
I don't know.
which would be a great forum for persons to express and you get great feedback?
The vendors said quite clearly to us, we're not hearing anything from City Hall. We're happy that you're all here and that you have to walk with the sea of life. I mean, border is atrocious. Even the simple things, normal, basic, daily household duties, are not being performed in our market.
Oh, general day-to-day services.
You don't see it.
Oh, wow.
There's no evidence of it. There's no evidence of it. We walked there. And the vendors were complaining. You were live. Don was live. And vendors complain.
It's all simple thing like the overflowing of a drain that had a pipe there and it was cleared in no matter minutes.
So send your plumber from the engineers department to have it done.
That's all. Simple as that.
The tardiness of them is the talk shop once again. There will be no action.
So how do we move forward outside of central government helping the constituencies?
Well, as you see, and the action is there. Central government is coming into our constituencies and we're getting help from them. And I'm going to move in my constituency as much as possible in all other constituencies to make sure that works are being done and the citizens are satisfied at the level that we as councillors can do.
Awesome. I know it's a big challenge. I think, good enough understanding of the challenges and of course the pussyfooting and the slow movements and stuff like that happens here, you know. You go around and around and around and it's just instead of a circle you have a square you end up with. So it's very difficult for persons to actually sit here and see nothing happening without getting up and really being annoyed over it.
I mean, last week I was sitting and I was talking. I said, this place has become a circus. This is a comic show. all the rant and rave and thing. I have a tape there where he was ordering me out to the meeting without even following the normal process. So I said to him, I have to get a vote by this council that I've been disorderly and that I've been warned. I've never been warned by him. But he still went ahead and put it to the vote and he lost. Only 5 councillors voted.
Oh, wow.
Everybody else abstained and voted against.
Even from his side.
From his side also.
And that's a clear indication of.
But he doesn't know what he's doing when he sits there.
And also you probably not being out of order.
I was not out of order. I was sitting.
No, you know to walk no, let's play as though you're a person. Oh, this is Madam Chase, green and cheese. No. You're the warrior. You know the line that you can cross and where you can stand and still back over the line. You know, but without crossing.
That statement.
Oh, you were?
I was sitting. I was not addressing the council. And he took offense to say that I called him come. Come on, man. We were like at a circus, as we are today right now. We're called to a meeting at 1 o'clock. It's going on 25 to 2. Nothing is being done. You have a deputy mayor for what? Just paperwork? Or just for show? When will it end? When will it end?
In 2026, the residents of Georgetown will have another opportunity to make this right.
Sure they will end.
And they've been consistently making it right and right and right. And they're going to get it completely right from 2026. So things can really happen in the city. Okay, well, thanks. Nice seeing you.
Pleasure to see you. And I'm always here to help the citizens of Georgetown. I'll continue to do my work with the citizens of Georgetown and work in each community.
Thank you very much, Madam Chase. Well, we're here at the council statutory meeting for March, and we ask that person share the live. Let person know we're going to be meeting to you
unbelievable, man.
line, and you can hear Patricia Chase Green. She has the mic on still. She has the mic on still, so you're catching it. You're catching it fully as it comes through. You know what I mean? That's okay. You know, so it's just about time for us to focus out on the meeting and see what happens here. You know, so we're gonna ask have my comrade for the Jones, Mr. Ross, and so come to the places.
Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm took us through the first set of paces. I'm now here with Councillor Clayton Haynes. We're currently live on Facebook. So, Councillor, thank you. Welcome to Live at City Hall. Firstly, tell us which constituency you represent.
I represent Constituency 5.
Constituency 5. And how long have you been on council? You've been recently re-elected, but how long have you been on?
Since 2019.
2019. Okay, so let's get into some of the questions. How do you feel about the council's performance since your time sitting as a council?
Well, the performance of the council has been very critical, to say the least, because of a number of reasons. One, there is a paucity of finances to conduct all the businesses that the council is supposed to be. And if you are careful analysis over the years, you would see that the duties and the functions that were carried out originally by the council, a lot of those things are not being done now because of the, like I said, unavailability of funds. And that has come about primarily because of the council, the volume of taxes being paid in is not adequate for all the things. And I can list a number of things that are not being carried out the way it should, because the council really is a service organization to the citizen. And the service to which I refer is very, very wide ranging. And because of the wide rangingness of those services, it would require a lot of funding to execute those duties.
Go ahead.
And as a result of that, you'll find that currently the council is not able to do a number of things that they would like to do.
Right. No, you said you were on since 2019, or you've been elected since 2019. What initiatives have been proffered here at the council, whether by you or fellow councillors, in terms of generating revenue? One. And two, we heard from some of the councillors that the system that records the taxes paid by citizens, has some glitches in it. It's not recording properly. And this has been happening for some time. So, okay, me as a citizen, I come to pay my taxes, but the system reflects that my taxes aren't paid, but I have a receipt. This has been said by many councillors here that the IT system has problems. So, you have been here since 2019, generating income and that system. What are your thoughts?
No, the information technology department, like any best regulated organization, there are issues that occur from time to time. And in the case of the council, that is one of the areas that were given problems, not now or during my time. These were problems that existed in the system IT section before. But what we have done to address it, and I think other councils before, the two councils that I'm sitting on, they were able to acquire software to address it, but unfortunately, when the time of implementation, it was outdated, and so there was a delay in its implementation because it had to be upgraded. That's a stage where we're at, or we get a new one to fix those glitches that occur.
So, do you have any backup for like troubleshooting from the software company that provided it?
No, we don't. Let me say what. There were problems with glitches with previous council purchased a software to address the problem. That hasn't been implemented because by the time of its implementation is outdated.
Yes. I see the players here. Quickly, funding. Any new ideas for funding?
Well, right now we're in the budget cycle, and there are a lot of proposals coming up from various departments in terms of
all right, thank you. Thanks. That was cool. So that was Councillor Clayton Hines. The Mayor, Alfred Mentor, has just arrived, so we'll take you right into the sitting of the statutory at City Hall.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down.
Almighty God, who in thy infinite wisdom and providential government has appointed rule and authorities for the welfare of society and the just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thine abundant faith to us thy servant, who thou have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust over the city. We acknowledge, O Lord, our dependence upon thee in all things, and our inability to execute duly the duties on which we are about to enter without thy divine assistance. We therefore pray unto thee to endure our minds with wisdom and knowledge, and impress our hearts with a deep sense of faith, of thy love, all which we ask in thy name. My Lord, to love my brothers and their Robert
we love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night, though we may criticize it. This is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river
No, so get inside. Get back. Get the back look now.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no trees. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one crush, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break.
So as normal, more glitches here at City Hall. Yet to have us start, technical personnel can't seem to get the PA system going. So I guess it's a further delay.
We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need
We're looking for omissions, insertions, corrections, and we'll discuss some matters arising from this minute.
We ain't giving up no mountain.
Page
We
1,
ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river
page 2,
that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain,
page 3,
not one grass, not a blade of grass.
page 3,
Giving up no mountains. We ain't
Songs
giving
are
up no tree. We ain't giving up no river
I must, before I know an idea, I should have said welcome. Welcome to this seat. I know the local government commission would have named you as the person. We obviously have to do what we have to do in relation to working with that position. So, welcome to the seat of this office. Thank you. So, Mr. Narayan, we have a situation here under opening remarks where I would have expressed a position. I said he expressed that the mayor has no authority. I did say no authority to sell, and I went on to say under section 239 or 240, which speaks to that, of leasing of properties, and also as it relates to selling, you have to get a no objection from the minister. And I think that was also stated. All right, but the section was quoted out of place. Page 3, page 4. I noticed a word here on the page, under paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. The second, the last line before the bottom of that paragraph, that speaks about set to the agenda without interference. I didn't say interference. I spoke of concurrence of the mayor as such. So that word needs to be changed. The concurrence. Take nothing. Okay. I don't see Kibi here, but I know he would have said something, but never mind. I can't speak to it because he's not here. Page 4, page 5. Page 5. Sorry? Who said page 5? I heard Councillor Alfonso first, and then Councillor Saul.
The votes, the tally of votes I think maybe my memory is failing, but I believe that the PPP councillors all voted against the decision to elect the president, and we didn't abstain. Perhaps we can check the record.
They did not. We have against here, though.
I have abstained in my
Yeah, we have a thing here.
yeah.
This is page 5.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean?
We voted on mass against. Not we didn't.
Oh, you go. Oh, I see. You mean at the bottom of the page 5.
Yeah. Correct.
She's saying it was all against, not abstain.
We were emphatically against. Yes.
Yes. I think we're getting some sound there. You got to do some adjustment here, though. Well, TC, you will make the correction and amendment to the minutes. I see Council South.
Yes.
Go to line 6. Line 5, third paragraph. And that should read,
Page 5.
yeah, claim that lot 1 and 2 were passed to the colonial government. And when you continue, I'm not certain what is this, but basically what I was saying, that no one is above the rule of law, and everyone must conform to the bylaws of the city. And I further recommend that the city engineer serve a cease order on the person or company that was executing the work. When you read it, it's a bit confusing there. I'm not certain what is that.
You're saying that you didn't see, you spoke about this aspect in the minutes, but you're not seeing that one of the facts that you spoke about in relation to the.
No, it is there, but it's kind of mixed up. It is not clear, right? It is not clear.
Explain to us what it is.
Okay, good. Claims, from the word claimed, that lots 1 and 2 were passed to the colonial government, not with. And then I went on to say that citizens within the city must conform to the rule of law, and no one is above it. And to this end, I recommend that the city engineers serve a cease order on the company or person or persons that are executing the work. Seize the work. Yeah.
Now that we, okay, all right, we'll keep to that issue. TC, can you make that adjustment in minutes to clarify what the council does?
Yes, on the same page, sir.
Yes, councilor.
I don't know why they tried to short my name, but I noticed that they haven't spelled my name correctly. The S is up on paragraph 4, the first line. No, they said Hein, but the S is also. They need to add it.
Okay. Anything else on page 5? Page 6. It's 6, it's 7.
Correction in the abstain column, we shall be put the H. Yeah, but the name spell wrong. That's correct. Yeah. No, BHISH here.
H.
Seven emails.
Well done, correct. Sir, it will be duly, sir, it will be corrected.
Page 8.
Page 8, sir.
Councillor Hines.
The, the last list of voting that was done on that page, I don't know, I was lost because I know where we started. Whether form against or abstain. And in this case, I was here, but I need to remind the council that I voted for, not against, neither abstain. But I haven't seen my name. No, here, this page, page 8.
Nine. Page 10. Page 11.
I noticed that there's a page 11 in relation to the voting. There's someone who voted for and then he voted abstain. I don't know if that is correct. Councillor Harding. It's recorded as him voted for and against. I'm sorry, abstain. And abstain.
He abstained. He didn't. He did not.
Correction. Page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18. I have a mover. So moved by Councilor Mason, seconded by Councilor Mohammed. Matters arising from this minute. Anything on any page? I'm not sure. I have a matter arising on this minute itself. That's page 5, where we were address the matter or the item of the cease order. Since that order should have been out or should have been dispatched to the occupiers of that property, I think the doctor would have written me about the decision of the council. She would have also written me speaking to the a letter that she was asking about a copy of a transport, which was eventually provided to her. I think there was some back and forth or some verification that herself and maybe the engineer had to do some work on. And to the unit confirmed to the engineers. I haven't seen a copy of that cease order with me just yet, so I would like some clarification from the engineer on this part.
Sure, sir. Mr. Venture.
So that focus in there, folks.
Yes.
He sort of was prepared on the 29th of February. However, when I visited there to observe the cease order, there was no one occupying or operating at the location. As such, the cease order was not served. And the cease order was addressed to owner occupier.
Right.
And as a result of that, I would have visited top part because I believe she did forward that letter to you, requesting a copy of the transport.
Right.
So we could verify who the owners of the property. As such, because of the annotations that were faded on the transport, some research were done, and it was noted that the transport in which the council would have circulated, claiming the ownership of that particular plot of land, it does not speak to that land. So as such, I cannot have put serve on any owner. The transport that was circulated at the council speaks to a plot of land that is bordered by uh, the canal that is immediately south of the King's College School. It's the canal that is immediately south of GTN, and on the east to west, it is from Camp Street, go on the way to the JP Blackman. So the research would have revealed that transport speaks to that specific area, and also they're supporting documents such as survey plans that speaks to.
So you're relying on the GLSC's report or survey or whatever they, or are you relying on your own information?
Research, sir, and there are copies of survey plans which I could produce to the council this afternoon to verify that those research were. I have, I think it's about I think about 6 plans verifying that that transport and the annotations that were on that transport speak to leases that were issued by the council then, leases to GTI, not GTI, sorry, GITC, Criminal Labor College, the MY.
I've seen all of those things where the GLS. Well, like I said, or you were saying, you're relying on stuff that you would have seen. You as a city engineer, I am not a surveyor. You're not a surveyor, but you're an engineer who would have done certain work or certain courses along the way in relation to fitting with such matters. But I would rather believe that such matters would obviously have to be treated with where we have independent professionals treating with such an issue, so that we could be able to determine the veracity of what you're saying, what I'm saying, what the government's saying, and whoever else is saying. That is not something that was to be decided on. What we did ask as in relation to this matter is for based on the decision of the council, for cease work to be sent, one, to the occupiers, and it's not for us to determine the veracity of the transport in relation to that, because the reality is the job was being done unauthorized, and any unauthorized work that is being done in the city, you as the city engineer is mandated by regulation and law to be able to treat with such issues. If a man putting up a place somewhere in Kitty here, you don't approve if you building it or you're doing whatever, you don't find out if you got transport. The job is to find out that you're doing unauthorized work, provide the plans and provide the information and provide the approvals of the council to verify that you're doing work that is authorized. In this particular case, there was nothing provided to you, but you've seen unauthorized work by the building of a fence surrounding that property, and that you have not given any notice to those persons, regardless of who. Even if you had to paste it up on the fence, take a picture and to state that I've been there and I've done that. That's another issue. But the reality of the thing here is that in your engineering department and to the level of the city works and other committees, there were nothing that was provided to speak
to this unauthorized work. So ideally, the work was unauthorized. I know you went about looking up as it relates to transport and all that, but the fact remains that at least a cease work order, because of the regulations that govern the engineers department in touching on concerning these issues, something should have been sent to those persons, or they should have been notified about it. So I would like some a view from that perspective as to what is your position on this.
Sir, as I reported, the the cease order or the notice is prepared to owner occupant.
Hmm.
Now, when on when I visited, and I visited more than one occasion, I noticed no works ongoing. The council would have reported that there are ongoing works. I visited, there were no ongoing works. The notice of a owner occupier cannot stand in court.
That's not for me to decide. I'm not a judge
Well,
or a magistrate.
the engineers will have to forward these documents to the legal section, sir. Owner occupier can stand in court. You have to
I don't know that. When you came to this council, and I'm sure it's minuted here, want me 5 minutes? It's fair. When you came to this council and you gave advice to this council in the last meeting, you did say that the city engineer on the page 6 said that if the owner of the property is not known, it is sent to the owner occupier. I didn't say those words. You said those words. He asked that have a copy of the document in circulation to ascertain the name of the owner. So we did provide that. But your advice to this council on page 6 of the minutes of the last meeting said that this is the position we have to send to sue. Now you come and telling us something else, and it's not for us, and it's not for us to decide that. This matter will more than likely have to head to the courts in the end of the day anyhow, and they will make those interpretations. But what we want to be is on the right side of the law, as it speaks to this, and to have followed procedure. And we did ask for a decision to be made on this matter, and we believe that that decision should be carried out. Because, and I said this over and over, I said it more than one time, that there can't be one rule for the ordinary citizen, there can't be a different rule for the government of Guyana, and there can't be a different rule for investors. There have to be one rule for everybody. Yes, there are certain courtesies that is usually granted, and there's a certain allowance everywhere, but in this particular instance, we need certain things to be done. So, could you tell us what we will do for this cease work order as it relates to this matter? In any day, the thing I have to do with ownership, because we can deal with ownership at another level where this matter will more than likely have to be tested in the courts. But in relation to the unauthorized work, we would like to have a cease work order sent to those persons, pasted on a thing, a picture taken, and a copy of that cease work order sent to me. That is what the decision of this council the last time we met. So could you tell us? Yes, that was a decision of. That's what I'm saying. Yes. So and a copy of it sent to the office of the mayor.
I don't see that recorded in the.
It's not here. See,
So
convenient.
I can't recall that.
I was very clear about that. You see, but if we bring the recording in, we can test it, But we want to go down the road. So what we're saying now is that the cease work order that you will send to the occupiers or whoever it is, a copy of that be presented to my office as soon as possible. How soon do you think you could do that, Mr. City Engineer?
Have the notice that I have in my hand.
You can give it to me now. So you ain't got to do it. Fine, sir. Very well. I'll appreciate that.
But I'll supply you when I serve the notice.
Fine. So then you serve the notice.
I'll take a picture.
So let me say by tomorrow, I will say before noon.
Yeah.
Before noon, a copy should be with you. Very well. Thank you much. All right. Any other item for discussion on? Yes, Council.
Just some clarity on the proposal. Just some clarity on the for works. What type of works? Because I told them myself,
I hear you. Me.
We see any works. So it's directed to what
Works that have was carried out and works that are maybe further carried out. What we know for sure is that works were carried out. Would you dispute that? Oh, you don't know. All right.
in terms of when inspectors go and see these sort of works. 1 second. They usually go and then do a verbal warning and then ask. So this is something that we would know because we had a civil review with some inspectors recently. They said some of the members of the city works with me. Right? So this is what the building inspector said to us. You know, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask you a question because
I hear you.
I don't want us to run away with the wrong ideas. So you said to us before that these lands, this 240 acres, and then 5 acres.
5 acre, yes.
In lots 1 and 2. Because I'm a consignee clergy also.
I hear you. All them questions could be answered.
No, I want you to answer me. I'm pretty sure you have the vice president of
I know that. Yeah, and you have a lease of that you want to be renewed based on the article of the GLSC. I see that. I see that in an article.
You're so correct.
All right.
The question I'm asking you, so should you then come out about those quotes? Because remember you said that all the lands on Thomas lands were handed down from Mr. Clinton the dysfunction. But here, I have a lease from lands and space, the body that constitutionally lives in these lands. So how do you answer that? But yet still we're here for political reasons to stop the
No. We're not.
Let's get right.
Yeah, I hear you in relation to. You want me to answer the question, or you want my other colleagues to? Council Lines, you want to get up before and then I will. Oh, no. All right, let me. Okay, I heard you, Councillor Jacobs, on this particular issue, and like I said, I've said many times that this concern is not one that is political. I also did say in many interviews, as well as even my discussion with the president himself, when I met him at the oil exposition, I said that which part of what we're stating is anti-development. We're not against development. No, I don't, and I want it to be on record. This council is never going to be against any development. We believe in development. I come from outside of the council. I came from the business sector, and I understand development and progress and how you need to treat the issue. So I'm never going to be one of those. But as the mayor of this council, I'm not the chief. The custodian of the council is the town clerk. But as the chief citizen of this council, I have a responsibility to ensure that certain things are done properly, certain things are seeded properly, certain things are vested properly, and certain things we treat with of this council. So when you're going to speak about the separation of this, and based on what Ghana Land Survey said against what the council said, and who owns what is a fact is that key plans. There are 2 plans. I think Councillor Saul would have alluded to this. They did allude to it here. Key plans, the Pras plan and the Chalmers plans, are not part of the records of the Ghana Land Survey when they're giving their opinion or they're making their missive on this particular issue. There are many other things that they've supplied that is happen to be erroneous in those discussions when they've quoted many other transports, which I have copy of. One of the transport code, transport number this of this, there's somewhere in Pleasance. Another one, the transport they quoted, there's some in the cemetery. These are things that they placed on record. They also said in their article that they don't know of any other property that was leased on the north side by this council or any council that concerns the council of Georgetown. And there was more than one items that we were able to see. There was an item that Jerry Gavaya who would have leased. They said that they don't see any plan in their record. I have a copy of the plan and I have a copy of the lease. There are other leases that on the north side that speak of these things. These things have to be clarified, and that can't be tested by me as the council or the mayor. This has to be tested in the court of law. All right. So these are things that we ought to treat with. I understand the position that you've taken in relation to Maltinos, where you're the vice president and you have a lease waiver. But all of these things will have to come to the fore, and we'll then determine which part of the past plan spoke about the blue area, a pink area, and whichever area, and how it spoke about 18 acres, this acre. There are issues, and I could say this because but I don't want to belabor the point. But on the same Carafesta Avenue itself, they have the one time there was the Scouts ground there, but then between the government at the time, this is long donkey years ago, as well as the council at the time, would have made arrangements to shift. Okay, give up the piece on the Carafesta and allow for the, I think, the education to have that one, and then we end up having a GTU one. Then we have so GTU was placed in Woodford Avenue at the expense of giving up something at Carafesta. Scouts Ground was also given up out there to allow for wherever. These are things that why would any sensible council do that if they didn't have involvement or wasn't part of the process of those properties? But now you're hearing that the properties are going to be used for some commercial enterprise. If whatever has to be done, they have to be real talks, real discussions, real meeting of the minds, so that we can be able to find a common solution that is beneficial to the council and also the government or the investor. We have to be able to do things in a fashion, because you know what? The government blocks everything that this council wants. We have a situation of some amnesty we tried to deal with. We wonder even why our leases, when you sit down and think about it, there was a memorandum sent by the previous minister of local government stopping or blocking us from leasing our assets, which is part of our fundamental rights as a council. But you know what? They did that on purpose so that they could be able to cause us not to be able to treat with matters of our assets and to get the best buck for it in relation to leasing of those assets. All right? They caused those kind of situations to happen so that they could take control of the wheel and treat with these issues. So those things are not right. But when we talk about negotiations and trying to find a way and find common solutions and find ways how we could get our keeps here, we get in a challenge. We got markets to build. The contractor people here came the other day and made proposals in relation to that. And it's the same part that I heard my colleague councillor talking about where the PVP councils paid a visit at the border market. That's the same area that we're talking about developing in relation to that. But you know what? We got to look for grant funding. We got to beg for this. We got to find ways and models to finance these different things. But our assets, regardless of it is deemed this or is being deemed that, are being taken away in whatever ways, and we are not getting the benefit. So we're saying we got stuff to do as a council. We want to be able to address those things. We want to be able to sort those things out. But in order for us to sort those issues out, we need to come together collaboratively to be able to make this possible. And as it stands, we're not getting there, and we're not, and we're hearing about different views. This thing will come to an end. I guess that I have I'm not going to say this in my remarks. I'm going to say it right now. That um, I did write to the president, His Excellency, based on a decision of the council. I wrote him on Tuesday last. I was hopeful that I would have gotten a letter back because I did indicate to him that we're having a statutory and I would have liked to report to the statutory of that position. I know that I wrote him on Tuesday and I did indicate to him that by the next statutory, I have to report, and after that period, we'll have to take matters based on the decision of the council. So I would give based on the letter or the correspondence I sent to His Excellency, we have up to tomorrow. At the end of tomorrow, we'll have to seek to engage our counsels and our lawyers on this particular matter, and then we'll be able to take it from there. So that's where we are as it stands for this particular issue in relation to the Carafesta Avenue. No other discussions on that. Let's. Oh, you want to say something? Oh, go ahead. I'm an eternal optimist.
Yeah. But I can say there were a number of situations here. But to come to that, we didn't have the same type of enthusiasm.
Tell me one. Tell me one.
To you, can the city engineer provide documents to government? In terms of even application.
Well, right now we're dealing with apples. We're dealing with oranges.
But I'm just asking the question.
You're talking about something 7-8 years ago. I don't know if in
so
this.
I said to you, can it be provided?
I'm
because you act with a lot
of as my colleague Deputy Mayor is saying here. One is a local issue, one is an international issue.
Wow. Convenient, but I understand.
Thanks.
You just mark my point.
All right. Councillor Ford.
This is within the city of George, so it's the same thing.
Thank you. Let me. Yes.
Environment in the communities. A lot of residents are concerned about this issue.
Okay.
And they want to know why we don't have reports yet. Say that we're getting there, we're allowing it to get some answers from the government, etc. Secondly, I just wanted to say, Mr. Mayor, that I didn't receive any minutes this time around. I know that is from the city office.
I'm sorry about that. I'll ask that.
And I also just wanted to say that the government facility.
I understand. What I can also say, just like you have said, Councillor Ford, and treating with that matter itself, as we speak to our attorneys on it, we know that there's a number of citizens, and that there's a citizen initiative that is speaking about this particular issue, and has been in touch with myself and many other persons of this council, touching on concerning this matter. So whenever that time comes, we'll have to treat with that. I don't want to have any further disclosure on that, but let me see Councillor Singh first, and then we should move on.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Officers. Mr. Mayor, you alluded to the letter to the president in which the deadline was given and the ultimatum, if you don't meet me well, then this will happen. I don't know if that is mayoral language or council language, or that's the way you write to a president.
You want me to state what I said? You want me to?
You just said what you said. And I know,
but you want me to read
record. I would like to put it on record.
You want me to read the letter itself? The back of the letter?
Councillors do not agree. What? We do not agree with your mission or your mission.
I didn't expect you to.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But I'm just putting that on record. I hope you don't mind that either.
You didn't agree to have debate on the matter before?
I wasn't here.
Well, maybe the rest of the councils is a representative of you as well.
No, I'm a representative. I'm just putting that on record. I don't know when does a mayor become
man.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Here, watch. It says here, the decision of the council here says, the mayor said that if there's no success in the discussion, the
You
council
have preempted.
the council will be prepared to take litigation in the matter. And in this case, the mayor, Alfred Mentor, would be the claimant on behalf of the council on the sixth schedule, section 8, which it's supposed to be, which gives permission for, it should be, whatever, I think there's a mistake anyway, which is for any person outside of the town clerk to take the matters to court. All right, I also choose to write.
Up there the cost go to you, since you the claimant.
No, but let me explain to you in a bit, Chief. You want me to tell you now? Let me tell you what's going on, and let me tell the whole media because I want them to also hear. They're also here. They have been, not just like my colleague Councillor Ford said just now, that there are a lot of citizens, and there's a citizen movement initiative on this matter, and that many of the citizens, ordinary citizens as well as the diaspora as well as the business community, are willing to finance and fund any litigation against those lands. Okay, so I'm just letting you understand, but it will start with us, but it will be persons are out there who are willing to treat with such issues. So it's not this one. No.
Yeah, people who don't live here don't care what happens.
So this thing gotta go. No, but listen, the diaspora is come and vote them. So long, hey man, Mr. Porzo. The diaspora does come and vote in Guyana. What we're doing is shutting them out. You understand what I'm saying?
They have a right to stop development?
No, but they have a right to intervene from time to time.
All right,
very well. So it's not about the city council. This is wider than the city council when it comes to this. Very well. So let's move on. No other matters arising. Let's proceed. Opening remark. Huh? Oh yes, the vote. The vote is already taken in this matter here, as it says here. The mayor said if there is no success in the discussion, the council will be prepared to take litigation in this matter. And in this case, the mayor would claim it on behalf of the council on the sixth schedule, which gives permission for any person outside of the town clerk to go to take the matter to court. Right? It says here, if there's no so I just indicated that if there's no success, hopefully by us having that discussion with His Excellency on this issue, on which we have up to at least a minimum of tomorrow, then the other aspect of this decision will be activated. I shall proceed. Opening remarks. I have a few items here. Let me try it. Sorry, God. I have a letter here, Tonker, from the Food for the Poor, which is somewhere in Festival City. They have been, we all know Food for the Poor is a non-profit organization, and they have been applying for their rates and tax exemption to allow for them to continue that exemption so that they could be able to reach or attain their objects. So naturally, they're writing here to state that they're seeking an exemption on their property in North Rongveld, and they provided a letter here to me, which I told the chief executive officer I'll raise at the council to allow for this matter to be considered. So that they go ahead before I go.
Mr. Mayor, while I have no objections for people being allowed not to pay state taxes, it is unfair to bring these matters on the matters arising.
When that matters arising, it brought under my remarks. Yeah.
Either one, it's unfair. Those records should be under the finance committee. That letter should be reported to the finance committee so it's properly recorded. Because sometimes you ask me for audit downstairs, you will not get that. They're not factual.
Well, I agree with you, but this is an issue that the people wanted to treat with as an urgent issue. When last you had a finance committee meeting here, Mr. Lelanza? No. I'm on. I don't recognize you. I'm speaking to Mr. I'm speaking to Mr. Sal. Yeah.
That's not the problem.
It's been a while. Right. Right. So this is an urgent matter that people would like to consider, and I believe that otherwise I would probably would have sent it to the finance committee. But we had a finance committee more than 2 months now. But we want to take some action, and I'm saying that to allow for some speed and some movement on this issue, I choose to bring it to this meeting. Tax. No, you don't decide it through a router choose. Council, Mr. Town Clerk, please speak.
Mr. Chairman, once again, sure, we have a look in our records, the documents of this request. And if we consider this now, sir, what will happen? You will have a plethora of people writing to me, asking for his.
So you're saying that you have a lot of it with you?
No, they haven't gotten any documents.
Right.
So I will advise they submit the documents, supporting documents to Town Clerk, and then we'll treat it.
All right. So what we'll do then? In this case, I brought it here. I asked for it to be considered. I will ask them also. I will send this to you. You will then request whatever documents you need from them to clarify whatever has to happen at the level of the Town Clerk, and that this matter be treated with some kind of expedience. All right? Very well. The other item I would like to suggest is that the contractor people who would have been here and make the presentation some time ago, they've asked or they've invited me to Ghana to be able to witness the other markets and markets that they would have done, and that they have since invited me to Ghana to treat with that at their expense. So it's not an expense of the council. That trip should be sometime in the week of 25th, somewhere in that week. So I just thought I notified the council, and while in my absence, the deputy mayor will take the seat of the mayor, acting in my stead while I'm away. No, they've asked at this particular time that they want me to come to do some inspection, to ascertain what's going on and whatever. And the next trip, they will widen it to include engineers and maybe other councillors and so on and so forth. That is what they've suggested. But I'm going to have a foresighting of what is going on before this happens. All right. So let's proceed. All right. Serving the. Any other announcement from you, Town Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Sir, we have a request from the Ministry of Health for a collaboration with our public health section for a campaign for night vending in and around Georgetown. So the campaign is expected to be for 3 months, and it begins from 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. All remuneration costs will be borne by the Ministry of Health. The box, 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. Right? It will be done on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each week. Immensely, it hasn't been provided us yet, but they've asked us to identify 9 staff to be part of this exercise, and we have sponsors. So the staff are in Italian: Baker, Sita Prasad, S. Lesperes, Abigail Caesar, Dexter Sampson, Amanda Hendricks, Arlene Reynolds, Oscar Patterson, and alternate is Bruce Murphy. Again, sir, this is an exercise, a collaborative effort with the Ministry of Health.
Listen, I hear you, and I just like Councillor Green is saying, We're hearing names, but we ain't really understand. So tell us about a little bit more.
Okay, so all the staff are from the public health section, right? And the exercise that I mentioned before is for 3 months, and it will be done on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, from 6 p.m. to 12.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 3 months, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes, they will give us the commence date. Yeah, it's for establish if they are in compliance with the food handler certificate, etc. Public health ones.
Okay. Councillor Hines, quickly. So we gotta try and push this meeting today. Got it.
Right. What you say. It's a good thing that you brought it in to see what. But having said what he has just said, what I need to determine, what I'm trying to ascertain, what's the objective of this exercise? But that the ministry has written us to collaborate with them for, and what is what they expect to happen during this campaign that he's talking about. He referred to that campaign. I don't know what the activities will be like. I would like to know.
Tom Clerk, before you, Tom Clerk, answer, I saw Ms. Councillor Green, who's also a health person.
Mr. Mayor, councillors, my question is, this is an exercise being organized by the Ministry of Health and in collaboration with our public health department. What I heard Tom Clark say is that they're going to determine who got food handlers or what. That's minor to me. My recommendation is that when we go out there, our staff, we should have a recorder. If we are at Starbuck Market, we record the names, the position, and the kind of stall that is offering food for sale, the amount of staff that is working with that entity, and how many of them have the food, presently have the food handling certificate. What I would have recognized over the years, and Doctor can correct me if I'm wrong, I cannot recall when last we had a food handlers training for our food handlers. School closed, school open, school closed, school open. I know we used to have it regularly every 6 months. Things have gone astray. When we do that, we must be able to recognize the amount of people that we have that do not have food handler certificate that is offering food for sale, the conditions under which the foods are being offered for sale, and I hope that we'll be able to cover the seawall. While we do not have control of the seawalls for the placing of vendors there, we have control to make sure that the food offered for sale by those vendors on the seawall is wholesome and good. And so therefore, those persons must have the food handler certificate, the owner, and all of its staff. So I hope that we can capture all of that. And I don't come back to here after 3 months. We had a successful exercise. And at the end of the day, this council gets nothing. Because what you're going to do there, if they don't have the food handler certificate, is make sure that they have it, or you give them the notice and close them down until it's been in order. Because again, what I would have witnessed in the border market with the deterioration that is happening every day, we've got to look out for what's happening all over. These little things are things that can cause a long-term effect health-wise. We're all right now because we don't have rain, but the day rain starts to fall, this city is going to be in chaos with serious health issues with waterborne diseases. If that border market, with the drainage as it is, remains the way it is. And it's not a laughing matter, it's not because I visited it. It is something that exists there that each and every one of us should be concerned about. And you laughing is an indication that when your Councillor Garnier, when he came in here, said that they would have visited the border market. They do not, and we would have identified certain things that were to be done. It has not been done. I stood here and I asked the mayor, why not have one big meeting for vendors on Independence Park? He says, no, he will deal with it market by market. To date, it has not been done. The people out there need to talk to somebody to get help. Some of the help that they need is just a phone call away. And so therefore, we should be proactive. We should not have been here today for the ministry to come in collaboration with us to go out there and do our work. It has been preached here before, Councillor Boswick, and other councillors would have been asking for those night visits to have a record of all the caravans that we have out there. But again, we gotta get a push start. We gotta get a certain time to get moving.
Just now, I'm glad that Councillor raised this particular issue. And again, it comes back to making decisions. And I hear my friends, them, Councillor William Jacobs and Councillor Alfonso and now that is making statements. And I see their statements, but they don't really tickle me because I'm of the view that I'm of the view that the administration, when those decisions are made, it's not me gotta determine based on the estimates and what monies and how we fast forward some voucher to treat level. They gotta deal with these issues. And if they're sleeping on the wheel, we can only keep coming back to some meeting. I'm sure based on the question posed by Councillor Green, Mr. Walter Ryan, top town clerk acting in this stead, there are a number of decisions that were made by the council. You were sitting at the back there, you sit down there and solid waste at the time, and you would have heard me talk. We hear of all the things that we decided on. I'm hopeful that you would have taken all those decisions into consideration, as well as with the engineers and them who's supposed to supply estimates and quantities and so on. And you're ready. I'm hopeful that you're in a ready position. So I would like you to speak on that particular issue, Mr. Narayan, and tell us what plans you got since you see Mr. Dancing and so on, and since we made those decisions but a month ago to fix those toilets right Councillor Garvey in the Starbrook in Border. I visited those places and came up with recommendations, but nothing moved yet. I don't put together the money vouchers. It starts with the town clerk. Then it comes to then it comes to Mr. Saul, it comes to myself. So before you, I want to hear from the top. He now done the job, but I sure nothing hand over to you. Let me hear it.
Oh, you know this.
Mr. Chairman, just going back to, I'll come to your questions just now, but just going back to Ministry of Health.
Yes.
It's of me not to mention that what Madam Chase Green was mentioned just now, admin staff will be part of this exercise to do exactly that, to have a registration exercise going on. So at the end of the exercise, we'll have a record of who's selling what, where they end, the name, and everything like that. Right? So we'll have that. In terms of the border market, sir, I would prefer we look at it when we reach the report.
Which one?
The reports of one of the reports that we can consider just now. Because sir, after the visits and all of that, we had estimates submitted by the engineers.
So the town clerk?
Yes, sir. Okay. It was tabled at the Joint Finance and City Works Committee.
Right.
For to be considered. I have the estimates with me.
Okay, so you want to bring up where in this thing? You want to bring that up under finance, where we dealing with finance, or you want to bring up?
Yes, we have
or you want to see? I don't want it to be missed. Since we're talking about it now, and then we talk about some other time. Talk about it now.
Okay, let me talk.
Bring it up now.
Yes, the estimates were submitted to the Joint Finance and City Works Committee. Sir, to my understanding, the chairman of the City Works Committee asked for the estimates to go to the City Works Committee first. So that was the delay.
Ask for which estimate?
The same estimate for border market.
But how we could ask for them? On what grounds? There's a decision in the council.
Sorry, chairman is here.
Who asked for the city? You said the chairman of the City Works asked, or you talking about the chairman of who?
Sir, my
we made a decision at the council for this matter to be treated with, and we also made it as part of one of those, let's call it emergency action matters. How is it to go back to somebody?
Well, that's my point.
Well, listen, we don't need an explanation about that. All right? There's no need for an explanation.
Okay.
We want the matter to be treated with. So, Mr. Town Clerk, please take action on this matter. All right? You gotta go back nowhere and go wrong and circle. we're dealing with this matter, and you treat me with this matter. Okay? Mr. Tom Clark, are we in agreement? Very well.
How much is the estimate?
So how can I go through estimates? Forget the approval of council, right? For the estimate for the Board Market Sanitary Convenience Store, it's an estimate of $1,576,520.
And who do they want? The council.
The council workers.
Workers, right. Which speaks of labor, but they not pay labor because they're already there with
Material.
us. So, but most of it is material.
Yes, sir.
Very well. And tell us about the next one.
And the estimate to repair the valley roof at Board Market that caused the flooding in front of the.
Which you were there when we visited. I remember you were there.
The total is $577,295.
And that would cover it.
A total for these two, it will be $2,153,815.
So, councillors,
for the sanitary convenience and the valley roof.
Go ahead now.
The sanitary convenience.
Money, $500,000.
Yes.
And the estimates for the sanitation block
1.5
is 1.5. So we're approving this 2 point how much? $2.1 million to look at the valley,
Yes.
complete the valley from leaking, and to do the sanitation block.
Sanitation, yeah.
When we approve this, when will the work start? And how long will it take to complete the work? Is it the same team that is working on the valley? Will it be the same team working at the sanitation block? Or do we have two? I want to see
I will get some answers. So, to the town clerk, let me get the SCT engineer to speak to this matter because we're going to clear and approve these monies today, and we'll be able to get these matters started. We also want from you, to the Mr. Town clerk, to the engineer, a timeline as to when, my friend has a timeline as to when we started and when we likely to finish. So we could probably go and do a walkabout to ensure that this is done. While that is being done as well, I would hope that something is done about that drainage we talked about that was highlighted by our Mr. Dancing and others, and that we should also cater for something. I'm not sure when we wash and how much time we got talked to the fire chief and all. It's time we buy your own thing and put things in place and deal with these issues and act on them. So I don't know if you could also add a variable to that as well as you speak. So but let me hear from him first.
Let's answer to the estimates first.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, councillors, and officers. With respect to the question that you have asked, the general work section will be undertaking this exercise. We're going to have them in two fractions. One will deal with any carpentry matters, while the others will deal with the masonry matters. I estimate roughly, without any calculation, about 32 days thereabout to deal with these matters.
So you see, I think the masonry matters. A lot of it is sanitary and other matters, and the other one is tinsmith and that kind of thing issue. So carpentry. So I believe the focus obviously has to speak about repair of the roof and zinc and other things, which carpenters as well as you have people that fit with those valleys. We'll deal with that. I hope all that, because they don't work all year doing nothing for no tinsmith, nothing. Now they gotta work for do something. So we make sure that they get something. They get that work done. The sanitary issue, you're on top of that. So thanks. You said about a month.
Yes,
right. Speak to us, Mr. Narayan, on the drainage and how we could keep the place washed, and I know we get it washed at different times. Explain to us how much time that is be done and how much time it is being done, and what else we need to do to be independent of the fire people.
Mr. Chairman, so the plan of administration is next Wednesday is scheduled half-day market.
Right.
We're asking for that.
This Wednesday.
No, schedule. I'm saying schedule, regulated by the statute. So we're asking for the entire day. No vending, no selling at Board Market, proper and inside, for the entire day. That will give us the opportunity to clean those drains. We're going to get a fire service to wash the market. And after the completion of that, the public health department will fumigate.
So Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday, 20th.
So we can like instead of opening Sunday, we open during Sunday.
No, Sunday we plan.
Overtime.
Yeah, but Sunday we plan to carry out the same kind of work at Starbuck Market.
Sunday coming.
Sunday coming.
So you tell us just now.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to tell
Yeah, because I was still on my
I
announcement.
just wanted to make sure. So you're saying next week Wednesday, we gonna write the people, tell them.
Yeah, we'll give out notice and everything.
We got to do everything Wednesday. The fire people plus the fumigation people, all that will be done. Now, what happens after that? Me talking because a lot of times we do things and stop. What happens after that? And what happened with the side drains and running out to the?
Well, all the drains and stuff will be done. So we'll look at it. We'll try to repeat this exercise every month, every half day of the market.
In between the people.
Then in between, you have staff of the solid waste department.
Don't we have our own pump, our own big thing, pump, something, allowing for?
No, sir.
Nothing like that.
No,
We ever had?
No, sir.
So do you think, councillors, you believe we should do that on our own as well? I'm open to things. I see no before you. I see Councillor Young. Yes, sir. Councillor Young.
When these things are being done, you got to pay the fire service?
No. That's not the house.
Good. But the thing is this, one of these 2-inch water pump costs about 60,000. You could get that on a reeler hose. The reeler hose give about 4,000.
That's right.
And it's able to be stretched across the market from anyhow. Connected to one of the water mains, so we can get the place done ourselves.
So we do that as a administration in between the period whenever the people can do it.
We make a general clean now, and at least all the clean will be supported.
How we want that done? We could do that every week. We have 1 month, every month we could use the fire chief on them, but let me do in between. Go ahead.
But my question here would be, who will be the custodian of the power wash and hose? Who? Sounds stupid, eh? I know we had.
That's a good question.
I know we had 12 cutting machines locked under in a container. And a morning we wake up, we padlock on the container, but the machines are gone.
All right. Thank you. No.
So I would like
what would usually the position when we used to have our own pump on those kind of things? Who used to be responsible? Not the clerk of market.
Market comes under the responsibility of the solid waste management department.
Oh, so you got 2 rows down.
So the fish pond, sir, the fish pond has to be washed every single day.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it's always washed.
That's where we use the full bucket with buckets.
We can buy the pump.
Right? And it'll be costing us solid.
Pump and the
hose.
A massive hose. Cost that to us. Maybe.
In principle, you could.
In principle, I will say that it can't cost a fortune, as my colleague said over there, 16 and another whatever. But in principle, we approve it, and you'll bring back that cost to the council as to what we approve to treat with that matter. Sure. And as Councillor Green said, it falls under the solid waste department to treat with the washing and the cleaning every fortnight. So we got a fortnightly cleaning and we got a monthly cleaning by the fire people. Even if the fire people don't turn up at the end of the month, we go and clean yourself or we wash yourself. All right? Now, could you give us the total cost so we could approve for those 2 items that we had there? You said 5 much?
For sanitary convenience and for the valley roof, the total cost is $2,153,815.
Councillors, do we approve that? Can I see your hands in approval of this of these sums to the clearing of the market? Oh yeah, oh yeah, it is here. Yeah. Yes. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Continue, Mr. No, don't let you continue this thing. It's not been kept forever here. Huh? Before you want to talk on the statements here? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor and Councilors, good afternoon.
I talked to the lawyers today. They said the thing left America by tomorrow. The other day. So I'll call you tomorrow. Then I start to tell you. Then in the middle of the chairs. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about this. Yeah, start with that. Start with that.
Councilors, I'm talking on the same matter concerning this board market here. Are we talking about washing? Yes, we needed emergency. We're talking about fixing the valleys. I think we needed emergency. If these drains, this main drain I keep talking about since I'm in council here, from South Road to North Road, if this main drain don't clean, border market would always be affected, as well as all the citizens in the constituency going straight up the border, because this is the main drain. So we go in and watch this market now with the lowness of the market and the highness of the silt in this gutter. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But we not watching the market, but I think what he's gonna do based for the hose that we're getting from
we have to desilt.
So you say we got desilted
It makes no sense, because
we bring the people.
When the fish watch the market, it raises and make no sense.
All right, Mr. Engineer, this is an emergency issue. Mr. Engineer, see the top floor of the engineer? I'm not seeing it. No, you can stand right here. I just want to know that you know right. Mr. Engineer, can you please at least stand? Now, what we are hoping to do here is this is an emergency issue in relation to the other things. If you could get Mr. Boston and others assign some people to keep with the desilting of those canals running right out there, so that when we choose to wash down and do what we have to do, and we say we wash it down when next week Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Let me hope that between now and next week Wednesday that silted, so that we could be able, when we wash down and we even blow you could use the same thing with the people got and blow the whole channel through and allow for the water to fly through. All this can happen. So tell us what you could do about that.
Sir, the magnitude of that work cannot be done within that short space of time. That is a lot of
business. Monday, man. Next week Wednesday.
It can't be done within that short space of time. You have to, and number one, the council will have to give its approval to hire trucks to take those silt away from there. It's a lot of work, sir. Cannot be done within that short space of time from South Road to North. And then, in addition to that, we still have to look at the purpose of we still have to look at the canal that runs north, east to west, which is the South Road Canal and the North Road Canal.
Them canals in good shape.
So,
South Road Canal and North Road Canal.
Yeah, please silted.
It's a lot of work, sir.
All right, and what we want is not to defeat the purpose of the exercise that we're gonna have. There got to be something that you could do. You said the silting of it can need some trucks.
You will need trucks, and as I said, you have to look at the two canals also, because what you'll have to do there, you have to do sandbags. You might also have to hire. Maybe the last time that was done properly, we had to hire one of these pumps that you use to pump water into the rice field, so that we could go straight up the water.
Listen, I remember Councillor Bipat coming here and saying that there was a contract that was given out by central government treating with us. Now it wasn't done a long time ago. It was done.
No, that was done a very long time.
Oh, the main one.
Yeah, but other how long do you think we have to find spots? If we get trucks, if you at time, you have to be.
If we to look at the trucks along with that, I will try to wrap up at least the north to south canal within a 3 weeks period. I'll try to do that, providing also I have the enforcement, because we'll have to move forest so encumbering the canal, canal at the back. So those is a joint exercise.
So then we buy the pump and do what we gotta do keep on washing and cleaning the market and so on. The exercise that Mr. Walton Ryan spoke about, us dealing with that, but we should suspend the exercise for next week, Wednesday, and maybe another period until he can get this thing done.
No, so I believe some of the, based on what I've seen on the thing, there might be some blockages that could alleviate what is happening there. Right. What you may find when you have heavy downpour, then you're going to have the severe effects of the market.
Right. But
even with that too, sir, what I must say, even with that, if we clear both canals and the thing, long as you have high water level, the market will be affected. But what we could do is try to alleviate what is happening now by at least what we could.
So we can proceed with this exercise, and then you will proceed with yours, which you'll bring back to the council, maybe a cost for the trucks and so on, right? Okay. Yes, Councillor Sal, 1 minute. Just a minute.
I tell you, I'm not frustrated by the output and the outcomes. I would be lying. We have to work to ensure that the level of efficiency is improved. I believe that there are several things that are affecting us here. You know, when you look at that authoritative relationship between the various units in the local government, and there seems to be within the council, I talk about the administration, and mind you, the administration is a creature of this council. But yes, still, there are certain things, control that we don't have over them. Nevertheless, we must work tirelessly to ensure that they produce. We have to look at the processes, the systems, to ensure that they are properly aligned. The legal framework, for example, the bylaws that the engineers or the engineer department is using, is something that predates World War II. So these are issues that we must address. And so sometimes we wonder why it is so difficult for the administration to execute what we want. We have to fix this thing. And we need some radical intervention, whether we call it re-engineering, whether we call it organization analysis, or organization diagnosis or intervention, whatever method we want to call it. There must be intervention in the administration to fix it. There are two units that come to mind that we urgently need to address. Is the city constabulary and the engineering department, but not necessarily in that order. I don't believe that the council, we as councillors should engage in such activity, and we should try to recruit experts to look into the processes and the operations of these departments and to tell us how we can improve the efficiency of these departments. That is important. We cannot continue like this. I am tired. I'm tired of it. Of course, I don't deal with inefficiency. I'm tired of it. And we have to fix it. And therefore, I would propose that we start with the engineer department. Let us see if we can procure 2 professional engineers to do an assessment of the department, to tell us what needs fixing. How can we fix the processes and the system? How can we improve personnel performance, etc.? We need to do that because what we are doing there does not make sense. And we cannot continue like this. Thank you.
All right, based on that, before we go, Councillor Green, I heard the points made by Councillor Saul, and I remember when I was first, I should say no, when President Ali became president in 2020, and we went and we had to get swearing, I think, in 2021. He did say that he gonna make sure that he repeal all them laws in 2021. That was 2024. And laws that concern this whole thing need repealing. I see there is a fiscal commission law reform has been put in place, which is a good sign, and that we hope that things are done at that level. But even though it's done at that level, I believe we still have to bring it forward as a council to make recommendation as to what changes we would like. So maybe us as a council will also need to sit in and to make such, maybe have a committee, one of those meetings that Council Green spoke about, maybe meet as a committee of the council and bring our recommendations to send to that same law reform commission. So something we will talk about. But in addition to the other point he made concerning an inquiry into those various departments, I would rather that start at the level of the human resource or something like that. So I would rather say that something like that should come from the bottom and then come to the top and then let us see what happens. So I would rather before that particular item that he spoke about is something that is a concern to us. So Mr. Tom Clerk, please note that the points that he made in relation to some kind of a commission of inquiry into the various departments, it's something that we should commission. So make a note of that and let that be an item on the agenda, the level of the human resource. Also,
Most recently, I would have read in the papers and on social media that one of our lance corporals were freed from the manslaughter charge. This lance corporal Bascom. He was charged sometime in 2018 for the alleged shooting of escaped prisoner from the border market. I think he was last Monday. I have not heard an announcement from either. And what is his position with him? What's the position with that of the weapon that was seized? That's one. Two, I've not heard anything about an overall matrimony report as to how much money was garnered from the sale of spots. Normally we would say, look, we had 500, and then they would come in detail at the next meeting. And on my walkabout with my other councillors, I would have recognized 3 or 4 bridges on the many.
Chairman, on a point about it, sir. It's not on a point about it.
You mean
a stage of what gender
I gather it should have been on any other business at some point, but but sir, I allowed, so allow the councillor. I recognize her. You didn't.
It's unfortunate that certain people don't know to follow protocol. I was recognized before I raised my issue. Please have some manners, sit and learn.
She's enlightening us. So let us.
I will recognize 3 or 4 bridges were done. I know you did have on your actual sheet those bridges to be done, and I would like to know what is the cost for those bridges and why the 4th one has not been completed.
You're talking about those bridges by
Merriman Mall.
Even though we commissioned the bridge and asked for the estimates and so to be done. Before we were able to treat with it, central government went and do it.
All 3 of them?
2. So we have the other 2 that we will do.
Sorry if I can record. 3 bridges were done.
3
One, the one that leads to Bunny Supermarket and Church Street.
But that one
has not been.
Oh, so then we should at least do that one. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Tom Clark, we did do some quantities for that bridge. I think Mr. Holland is the one who proposed it. I think it's 1.5 if I remember well. Let us address that bridge as part of our action plan to get that bridge done, because we did approve it to be done, but the process has to start from your department. All right? So look at that. Gotcha. Let it be. Yeah.
There's 15 at the Bailey Health Center, and 6 at the Festival City Polyclinic. Right? This is the public health experience for junior students. And they're asking for this to be commenced on the 1st of April to the 19th of April, 2020.
Council, you understand what we're saying? No, okay. All right, thanks for that. Comes up for notification. So you're through there. Responses to decision of the council meeting Monday, February 26th. One of the councillors there, I think he got up on his feet and he spoke about not getting his agenda. I'm not sure why, and I hear it. Eileen Chalmers and get hers. Who else? You got yours? So 2 councillors, I don't know what's the reason, but I mean, I know you're not the one who sent them out. But you get one now? You are Carlin? I'm not sure if Carlin can come. Because some people can be sailing. Gary, any sensor? Any of them be sensor? All right, let's proceed. We'll see how we treat with those minutes as we go on. 306, 130, 131, 131 thing. Right? Decisions. What do you think about it? It says here, Thomas Land's matter. The council agreed that legal action on the Thomas Land's matter should be taken if the discussion with His Excellency do not prove beneficial or there's no success. So you have to fix that. That is what was said in the minutes. Discussion to that. Right. It says that there's no success in the discussion, right? With His Excellency or does not prove beneficial. I don't know that is what we said. Beneficial is not necessarily the word. Council agreed that legal action should be taken if the discussion with His Excellency does not prove any success or is not successful or whatever. And then the mayor saw the statement in the case. So that change I would like to get adjusted, Mr. Tucker, to reflect the minutes. Okay? That's it. 306, 306. You want to say something 130? Okay. It's a pity that wasn't said, but I mean, I know when I made that decision, but anyway, never mind, we already cleared up already. 306, 307. No, let me fix 306. Sorry. I'll recommit to 133. The idea behind the statutory agenda cover page is that the council agreed that the statutory agenda be sent to the mayor for concurrence. Before it's set. But that's what is in the thing anyway. It says here vote to have the statutory sent to the mayor before it's sent out. It's supposed to say set. It's 133. 306, 133. That the statutory is sent to the mayor for concurrence before it's set. Before it is set. Concurrence before it's set. All right, Mr. The front page. All right.
So it's the item
Should
one.
we say the front page then, or
on the cover page?
On the cover
Items
page.
on the cover page.
Item on the cover.
That's what you want to be said.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Items on the cover page, right, Mr. Tolper? Before it's set. Mr. Tolper, you got that? Very well. 306, 307.
Question about 307.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little bit confused. Perhaps I'm not reading it correctly. 136, the dissatisfaction on Mr. Narayan's act, says that the council agreed that the town clerk writes to the local government commission expressing the council's dissatisfaction with the appointment of Mr. Narayan as town clerk. When I look at the minutes, on page 11 of the minutes for that meeting, it says the votes were not carried. So I'm wondering how a council decision ends up on the 136, but the voting as shown on the minutes that was distributed points to the opposite.
I don't know that's up for interpretation.
No, it says the votes were not carried, so I'm asking a question. The minutes say we're not. So I'm only pointing out the discrepancy.
Let me see where you are.
Page 11, under the tabulation of the votes.
Yeah, it says here it wasn't carried. But we already adopt these minutes. Yes, the votes were carried. Okay. So then what are we saying here? Because you have 22 abstain and you got 6-4. The 6-4 is not allow it to be carried. Yeah. So then how we did treat it? Remember the minutes was already adopted. So that is my challenge. I'm guided here. I'm guided by my erstwhile colleague, Madam Green.
Majority, of course, is to change to correct back the minutes.
I thought. Councillors, any other view?
Well, that's only view. The law speaks for itself.
See, I wanna have a vote on this to determine, because at the end of the day, what the minutes saying here, which we already adopted the minutes, so we want to change that minute to allow for it to be recorded properly. Those in favor of changing the minutes to allow for this reflect the recording that was the true recording of the minutes and the record of the council, please do by the show of your hands. So exactly. So there's no need for nobody against and nobody in abstention. So we'll make that change. Yeah. Right, Mr. Got it. All right, let's move on. 306, 307, 307, 308. 309.
No. 308.
But you know, I raised the matter the other day and people tell me the thing. I am shocked when I see this thing. Anyway, go ahead, Councillor Jacob. Don't be distracted by Councillor.
308.
Yes.
At 143, yes. I'm not seeing summarize being placed in any of this decision that we took.
You're not seeing what?
Summarize. The word summarize or summary. Why just just to make sure that they
In which
the
one?
Part 143. We did say summarize
Oh, department.
so that
The council agreed that officers to give an oral presentation on their
summarize the oral
with a summary to be provided.
summary so that you don't come and
With a summary to be provided, right? You know, I asked about the matter here. I'm not seeing it. I'm not sure if I missed it. But I did ask the town clerk. I'm not sure if it was a decision or I did. But I think Madam Green would have raised a matter concerning Mr. King. Oh, it's right here. Oh, yes, you see it. Yeah, okay. 141. 309, 310. No, 310. Minutes of Joint Finance Committee, 310, 311. What's the latest on this page 12, Mr. Watson Orion? Who would have been part of this? Even though we talk about it, the finance meeting, it treated with matters of solid waste. And the recommendation one, what's the latest on this? Price reduced, if it's possible. What's going on with that? You can report anything?
No, sir. Just what was mentioned last statutory. When we deal with this, is that the only contracts that accepted the 5% was Sandip.
Oh, Sandip. The rest, everybody else question it.
Yes, sir.
So what are we gonna do about that, Mr. Saldivis?
What the contract had, the only person that accepted our proposal was Afghanistan, but you should have added that the contractors they're not prepared to execute that responsibility in relation to the proposal we made, but they will continue with the stated price that they're working with. That is
When this contract come to an end?
This month, yeah.
So if this contract comes to an end, and not to be out of contract, they will continue based on that.
Yes.
While we will negotiate.
No, sir.
What in the
Not in the this one. What the decision was that was passed at the council was that we extend the contract for an additional year. And
Under the same terms?
Yeah, under the same
But we got to change some aspects of the term.
During the year, we will examine all the contractors and their operation to see the changes that we will introduce.
But we had so much of challenges with some contractors where in some areas they're not picking up this, that, and also the amount of penalties they've had.
Yes, sir.
How did you review that? And
Well, the address of the penalties can remain. They will still be applying the penalties, but the terms.
But the weight of somebody some people just can't do it.
Well,
so why we know some people who got less than some, let me try and give some others some.
Additionally, sir, what we sought to do was to make sure that we fix our equipment and pick up that slack in terms of what was left for the carpet and so on.
Yeah, but you know, we decided that 1 year ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
right? 1 year ago, I heard my colleague in front there, Mr. I just remember things because when councils make statements, I take a mental note of it. And I heard him making a note about who in the right sense could do a contract and left out carpet waste. We were in a right sense. The thing about it, Mr. Walton Orion, who is the solid waste man, was responsible with his team to pick up those things in the various areas. It's not like we left it out. We never did. We accommodated it. It's just that it was never executed. I don't know what the reason. You need to tell us something about that because you're sitting in you're wearing two hats today. So tell us about that.
Mr. Chairman, what you fail to what you fail to say in that decision of the Solid Waste Management Committee and Tender Committee is that it was you, sir, who said the council will buy 2 dump trucks to assist with the collection of that waste. Yes, no, that was approved by the committee, sir, right? Because the Solid Waste Department was targeting more areas.
We didn't buy more.
No, sir. We didn't buy any trucks.
All right. Twisted touch on it. I don't know that the buying of it caused us to do that. What I know is that you took responsibility as the department to treat with it. Because twisted touch it, you know, how long it take to get a dump truck? 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So that could not have been literally possible. Your undertaking was crucial. You took on the responsibility of dealing with it, and also stated that you will pick up all these carpet waste, which at no time he never did. So I heard the councillor when he did indicate that like people gotta be crazy when they're making these decisions. So we need to find a solution around that. We need to come to the end. By the time we come to the end of this month, let us figure out what we can do with that so that we can make an informed and proper decision concerning that matter. And you didn't get no additional trucks from that period to now. You got a truck from the Chinese people,
No, that was in our possession.
was part of it.
Yeah, that was in our possession.
So what plan you got with the trucks you got? How many trucks you got? 4? Or how much the council got? That is working.
There are 4 trucks, 3 are working, 1 is in the workshop. 1 is repaired.
And the 3 trucks you got doing what areas? A couple of areas.
Yes, sir.
Which is this area here and which other one?
Constituency 2, 5, and 6.
And the markets and some other areas.
And picking up the carpet waste in Central Yorkshire.
Carpet waste in the area that you deal with?
Yes, plus.
What about the external areas?
Plus, we deal with those areas.
So, Mr. Solid Waste, we got to do something. Not you, Mr. Solid Waste Chairman. What plans you got around that issue concerning looking at those carpet waste? So in the contract that we got with them, those people still pick up the carpet waste?
The proposal was then it's in the right report. At the time when we entered into this contractual arrangement, the council, the solid waste department only had 2 trucks operating.
Right.
What has happened since then to now is that we have improved and that they got 3 workers.
One almost.
Right. So I expect that
they do it.
The department
do the job.
Be able to execute that responsibility.
All right, fine. Because I remember too, Mr. Solid Waste sending out a circular speaking about how we can pick up in these different areas, these whatever. But Mr. Town Clerk at this time, I know how to address you now, right? But Mr. Town Clerk at this time, what with your trucks that you got, you will have to come up with a schedule based on you and Mr. Rollins in this case as to how we treat these processing. We know that some people pick up all, like the Quran pick up in our area.
No.
They pick up the carpet waste, huh?
No.
Quran is not some.
They get well, not big complaint, but they don't pick up sometime and some, or most of the time they pick up. But let us figure out something in relation to what you do. You have to put together a plan between you and Mr. Rollins as it relates to that coming down to the end of this month where we can be able to treat him with this new arrangement. All right? You want to say something?
Extension 1 year, what contract right? As a hard council, time says that extended the contract for 1 year.
We made a decision on it. Well, if it start back in March and the
next month.
The March.
But no, we have this part. This problem. But we went there. Facing the same problem.
Right.
My opinion, decided how to use the contractors and factories. We have to extend. We should extend for 3 months. And then we put our new proposal to them for the extension of this year or 2 years of the new contract. Because what's happening, they quite bluntly says, according to him, that they're not prepared to pick up the carpet waste, only Mr. Sandy. And if I know well, Mr. Sandy has been one of the contractors that really, unless he would have improved, has been given not of the best. But we're grateful for whatever he's giving. Mr. Narine, as solid waste director, continue to give us promises. Fulfill it this week, break it next week. Come and we rant and we rave, fulfill it for another 2 weeks, and break it the next week. 4 trucks are expected to be on the road by next month. 4 trucks. What will those 4 trucks be assigned to? Notwithstanding that he has group 2, 6, 2, 5, and 6.
Market and so on.
2, 5, and 6, and he claims that he picks up carpet waste around the city. We can clearly see, sir, it is not enough. We need help of the other contractors. So I would hope that the committee that deals with solid waste will sit and look at it. Look back at the old contracts that we had where they were picking up garbage and carpet waste and look and see where we could do it.
Okay.
And come up with a full one contract that deals with both.
I agree. What I can remember when this matter was considered was the contract. We were looking at how we're gonna roll over into the new period and to get a renewed period, maybe as I said, for 1 year. I think that was the recommendation of the committee. What we did indicate, I think, at the level of the council, is that some aspects of the contract must be amended as it relates to non-pickup, what kind of violation, and some other things. And adding to this point that Councillor Green is making, the issue of carpet waste that we need to fix. So I'm not sure what came out of that meeting, and I would like Mr. Hines to guide us on this, if that was also considered and what was said in the meeting concerning this carpet issue. Because you met with the contractors, right?
Yes, we met with the contract. But the decision of the committee to amend the contract, which will be prepared when this one is concluded at the end of this month, will reflect the decision as to those changes or where additional sanctions can be imposed for failing to adhere strictly to what is contained in the contract. So when this one comes to a close, the next one that will be prepared is the one that will reflect those amendments to which
is this? When is this? When happening?
That will be at the end of this, that will be at the end, after this one is concluded.
After this new year is concluded?
After March, the end of March.
Yes.
The current contract comes to an end at the end of March.
Yes.
The other contract, because these people can operate together without the contract. Right. The one that will be prepared will reflect the concerns and decisions that was expressed at the level of the council.
And what were those concerns?
The concern in terms of the sanctions.
Just some.
But sanctions, when
yes, I know sanctions
when they fail.
But we're talking about the carpet waste. Right.
But the carpet waste, sir, will be the responsibility of our equipment with our department will be doing that. Because remember, our engagement with the contractors, only one person said that they will continue and will accommodate the picking up in their area.
Hey, listen.
So the responsibility will still remain.
Brands have been doing it. They might not do it all the time, but
all the time.
90% of the time they do it. But they ain't getting compensation for this. Now, we need to figure out how we could create some kind of compensation for carpet waste, something in a bag or two, and to assist in this regard. So I'm hearing Councillor Green, I'm hearing you on this, I'm seeing faces here that saying they ain't necessarily in agreement. So we need to maybe have another one of those meetings with those people to iron out those things and to come up with some kind of thing and come back to us before the tour de force or whoever reach, so that we don't have a situation where the people are out of contract for the collection of this, but they still keep picking it up voluntarily or in whatever way, or involuntarily or whatever you want to call it. So something needs to be done about that, because I don't trust Mr. Narayan and his team. I trust the people that no disrespect, but I don't trust. I hear it before in relation to pick it up and it didn't get it right, but I know for sure if we work out something with them people, they can pick it up, because here what they're turning up to pick it up, so best they pick it up. Meanwhile, wait on Narayan and his team or Rollins in this case. Don't let me attack Mr. Narayan. I attack Mr. Rollins. Mr. Rollins and his team to pick it up. So let me hear you quickly if you feel we should meet.
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
I smile quietly inside. Smile quietly inside. When I listen my colleague over there,
yes,
Councillor Green,
yes,
saying to us this glorious holistic approach in terms of addressing this issue of the picking up of the garbage and so on, and we should try to factor it. I am so I would like us to attend the meeting, because when we
so we set it up
when we yes,
don't let me go
next
further.
Tuesday.
What
I'm saying,
when could we set up
but the point I wish to make sure is that when we were deciding on the numbers to continue the contract, there was a lot of negative expression in relation to what the agreements were. And we were trying, and I should say here that while we were examining that, persons, councillors, called the contractors to tell them not to accept. I don't know who they were, but I'm just saying to you that these are some of the hiccups that resulted in us accommodating the approach that will provide us continuity in terms of the work that is being executed by you.
So
that's all I wish to say.
We have a meeting with those forces to start this. We may have no, don't let me go down the road. And all councillors, let Garvey say. Garvey, Councillor Garvey.
I think what we should be considering here is looking towards advertising for a contract to collect the parking waste. If the current contractors, from the discussions I've been hearing, I don't think they don't want to pick up the parking waste. I think the 5% they're saying is not enough. So we either have to, as a council, decide on the 5% that amount, or if you're not going to do that, advertise and have a contract to collect those parking waste. So let me move away from this. Who said business? The parking waste have been collected.
Yes.
In my constituency, I know Council Green, I share the same constituency. She's always saying that third party waste don't be picked up. I don't know what the relationship between the contractor and the people at the back of me, but my party waste is always picked up. It varies. Some constituency council sponsors say these are problems that can be solved. So let us put an end to this. We either up to 5% to an acceptable amount for the contractors, or we move away from that and advertise for the contractor not do that.
So then, based on what I'm hearing from Councillor Gary, which makes a lot of sense, is that when you're having that meeting, Mr. Chair, that meeting, Mr. Hines, one of the things you'll consider is what is workable. We propose 5, maybe they come back with a counter, we figure that out, and then we will then determine if we're gonna, if they're willing to accept it or not. We could then move outside of that to have some independent person outside of that to just pick up parking waste all over the place. All right, and maybe what the solid waste department could also do. But don't let us you treat with this issue at your level with at the committee, bring back the recommendation to us, and then we'll talk. All right? Oh, Councillor Alfonso, then Councillor Fraser.
Your Worship, councillors, I like Councillor Garway's suggestion. It helps us to move forward with alacrity. This contract expires, like you said, at the end of this month, and we cannot find ourselves in a situation where our contractors, our waste contractors, are working without a contract. There'll be no way for us to hold them accountable. When how are we going to enforce penalties, for example? So when I hear, when is the next meeting date set? Next Tuesday is the 18th of March. The contracts expire at the end of the month.
No,
I fear that leaves us in.
But even though there may be out of contract, the contract provides for continuity until that I think I'm very sure it has that. I'm not sure what it has. So then we'll have to write them then and ask them to continue for 3 months until we can resolve this issue.
You have to extend the contract.
Yes, we'll have to write.
Oh, this has been languishing and dithering.
Yeah.
Now we're here, we're forced, today's what, 11th? There's no contract that I can read.
There's no signed contract. But
If
he's
there's no
saying that
draft contract for this council to see what we're approving.
Right.
When will that draft contract come? When will you see that draft contract? To determine if what was proposed is in it. And how do we move with it? So when you say you smile, you gotta write this smile because I didn't talk with what I'm about. When I objected to it, I objected positively in it because I knew he didn't know what it was about.
All right, listen. I hear you. What I'm hearing here, like I said, there was approval to allow us to be in contract. What we also have to do is to have a variation of that contract because the contracts are not signed. There's an agreement by the council to extend it. That is what we've done. We have an agreement to extend. What we need to have is some aspects of the contracts to be varied. And in this meeting that we'll have, we'll speak to that, speak to how we could fix that 5%, 7%, whatever percent, or move away from the collection of this and have one special person do that part of it. So those are things that you will discuss in your committee meeting and come back to us. But we will not be out of contract. The people will not have a signed contract, but we have approved for them to be the contract to be extended. I agree with you. Signed contract and having a decision is two different things, but they're not out of contract because we have approved it at the level of the council. Maybe, I don't know, I'm guided by the council in this particular issue. So let me hear Councillor Fraser. I think Fraser wanted to say, or you want Garrett before you, Fraser? You want him to go back? Councillor Garrett, and then you come.
I think while the contract expires, once we agree as a council to extend that contract, there's no need for them to sign another contract. It is the same contract. I think the issue here is the variation. We wanted the new contract to include those, not parking waste alone, all the other issues that we have in terms of penalties, fines, and so on. And so, if we go ahead and have them sign the extended contract, then we're going back to the same contract that they had last year. And I think that's the issue. We don't want to enter the same contract with the contractor. We want the variations to be included in the new contract. And if they had agreed to the 5% for parking waste, but that being aside, the variation should be included in the new contract, and that's the issue here.
Yeah. Noted. Councillor Fraser.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I rise to speak, but I sit from the protest. Mr. Mayor, I remember that sitting at the solid waste committee meeting, that the solid waste director, when we had this back and forth, went through a process with us and told us that it is not every constituency will find that kind of backup of carpet waste. And so we said, well, look, let us treat with the areas that we know are having on a regular basis carpet waste and speak to those contractors. And the areas that we don't have private waste all over the place and you know it's visible. That is how we can treat with it. Mr. Hines' compliance was correct. When you talk about the number of trucks that we have, which can deal with those small issues. In that regard, sir, we don't have to talk to all the contractors to do private waste, but to the contractors in the areas that they're working, that we know private waste are visible. And on a regular basis, you can go and see private waste, so that the cost will be low. The cost will be less. Because if we have 10 contractors, only 4 areas that we know that are private waste that are giving us problem. It's the 4 contractors we talk about. We have enough trucks in the system that can deal with the other areas. And I started that meeting. That is what we understood clearly. And that is what we agreed on. So on the other case, sir, I heard of a position of hiring a truck to do private waste. But then you have to balance the cost of the 5%, the 10%, or the 20%, whatever the contractors we have will request of us to pay them to do private waste, and the cost to hire another truck to do the same private waste. We have to be very careful in what we do. And that's my statement.
Now, to answer what you just said, and to clarify, to make sense of it all, you just indicated that not every area that got private waste. So automatically, if you was going to put 5% for all the constituencies, you would have more than enough money to do with it. Because if you only got 4 areas, but we got 8 areas that we clearing, but 4 areas is only the areas that have private waste, you know, at 5% of all the areas, yeah, you'll be oversubscribed. So so that is what I would bring to that discussion you had. The point that Councillor Darwin made in relation to new terms, because that's what we really want to do. It's new terms. It's an addendum to the agreement and have new terms put in place. So we must be able to have those new terms, but those new terms will come out of the meeting that you have, Mr. Hines. With those persons, come back to us and maybe let the council have an idea of a draft of what we have in mind based on the agreement and so on, and let us then look at it. But with those new terms, we could have a draft of a new agreement that we look at, and every councillor could be part of that process, how we look at it. And also, just like I said, if we look at that thing from based on what Councillor Fraser said, I still don't believe that, even though what he suggested, that we shouldn't cater for everybody, because some or the other, somebody can come forward and say something else, somebody can say anything, and we cater for them. So, but let me look at it. I don't want to determine all of that here. Those are matters to be treated with at the level of the committee, and then they come to the council. We forward look at it, and then we take it. All right. So let me leave it for the meeting, but it's very important that we consider all of these variables, right, Mr. Tonka? All right. Let's proceed. So where are we at? 311, 311, 312, 313. Can I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Hardin, seconded by Councillor Hardin, seconded by Councillor Mohammed. 314, 315, 316, 317, 318. Oh, 73. No, I talking about the cemetery, but me here nobody getting up talking about that. But, and we got serious issues with the cemetery. 318, 319, 320, 321, 322. While I'm on 323, I'd like Mr. Mason to shed some light on this cemetery matter, or Mr. Ellis, either one of you, as to what's going on with the placing of new spots and whatever, and what plans we got for new areas and all that. Shed some light, Mr. Mason. What Chairman Gandhi? He's on the phone. Chairman, you want to speak on this? Chairman, we wear masks for man. Anybody got. The man got cold, so that's why I say you want this job.
Oh, sorry.
The manager? Okay.
Pertaining to the background community, I noticed something on page 322.
Cordell.
322 saying we did not make a decision on closing that background. So I don't know how come the minutes saying here that we close the background. It's temporary on the roadway. So on the roadway, we said we'll stop burial there, not the background. We're saying close. We did not say close the ground. So please, let it be.
So what is going on with the current affairs? What plans? I didn't get a chance to read out this particular minutes, but what is the plans in relation to new areas, new burial things? I drove along Sussex Street yesterday or the other day, Saturday, and I see people burying along the walking across a small bridge. Yes, they got some things going on. I will probably ask Mr. Hollingsworth. Mr. Hollingsworth, since you're here and we're talking about the burial grounds, could you shed some light? Because I drove along Sussex Street and I see people coming in there. I see people out different places burying. Tell us what's going on with these various spots that you're finding and how early we'll need to treat with this issue to get wider range for you to be able to have more burials. Yeah. Sorry. Sometimes I make a mistake. I down with it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, councillors and officers. With regards to the cemetery issue, I'm now going through some of the recommendations, and I must say there are some inaccuracies with regards to what was recommended by the committee. For example, it was the recommendation of the committee that with regards to the question of 322, the committee recommended that all burials cease on the crossings, which is referred to as the roadways. Also, there was a recommendation, given the fact that there's no burials found in the ground, that we return back to the mound, and that the point where we should cut off from burial must be the point whereby we have, I can remember correctly, that we go back on the mound and that we have burials that don't
you got enough mound in there. Tell me which
mound as in the old dump site. That was one of the recommendations.
But how you we know you can't go to the first, but how you would access there in the first place? Because we had challenge along Princess Street. What's going on?
We also by way of recommendation, we use parallel to the mound. There's a roadway there, and we just have to weed the grass that is growing there. And they have step burials. That was the recommendation from the committee, sir.
That's a little tricky though. Having the mound then tomorrow when we want to clear down the mound and clear away people. Well, you know what I mean? So I'm a little concerned about it. Listen, I was driving past the 6th Street, right? And I see where they have these buildings and have space. Now, I peep through the place there based on what's going on, and there's some trees and some other things that happen to be there, but there are a lot of clear, flat spaces. What plans you got going on with that?
Mr. Chairman, at the very committee, I was grilled extensively by Councillor Gary with regards to finding burial spots.
Right.
And he was convinced, finally, with the other councillors, that we don't have any spots in the ground.
In where? Sussex Street?
Sussex Street area, we don't have any.
So it's burial there though.
Mr. Mayor, what you will find, you'll find sporadic burial sites. but those don't come in a ratio or a quota. Okay. For us to say that we have bare spots there. That's the issue. I also would have said to the committee at that time, EPA was asked to do an environmental soil test to determine if there's any methane gas. EPA would have written back, and I think a town clerk acting Ms. Candace Nelson would have said that EPA in their message said that they don't have any testing equipment. I further reinforce my arguments that the mound is the best possible avenue because methane gas within a landfill site carries a 10-year lifespan. At that time, the then local government minister would have closed off the site July 31st, 2010. If you do your maths, you will see that we passed that timeline with regards to having an active landfill site. Mr. Mayor, I wish to say, if the council don't find an immediate solution, there will be no burials in quotas in the burial ground.
All right.
Sir.
So, all right, hold up. Just now before you go, Karen, how far are we from what you're saying there? How much months, how much days, how much time? From where you're saying that we will not be able to have do burials?
Mr. Mayor, if you don't use the mound, you can't go anywhere. That's the reality. We have come to the end.
Council Garrett, then Council Green.
Mr. Mayor, the most important matter that came out that weekend, and I didn't hear it here, is that we realized, and engineers told us that there is a portion of the area now that can accommodate 4 years of burial, but its vegetation is thick.
Right.
We recommend that that meeting that immediately we engage central government and the private sector, asking them to assist us with clearing of that. That is along the portion that is at opposite to northeast to Pennington. That whole, yes. And so I'm surprised that now, 2 weeks after we here, and we're not getting a report that we've been able to write to central government asking for some assistance, or to the private sector commission, whichever one was willing to assist us, because the folks at the time don't have the finances to prepare those spots for burial. And so I'm surprised that because that should have been treated as urgent, because what the engineer is saying, what he said to us, then there's no more space in the burial for burial.
Now, and I hear you that I don't believe we should treat this as a quick fix and always have band-aid solution or plastic Paris arrangement. We have to have more permanency in relation to this issue. So the recommendation as that I didn't read this thing out totally, but I'm guided by Councillor Gary, who was part of the meeting, to speak to this issue. And we also can't only beg the people for help. I'm sure we got enough machines. We have 2 machines that could work there in those areas that we could help to grade up and to get these beds together. So we will, Gary will have to write. Ask the government, and this will happen through the town clerk. So, Mr. Town Clerk, take note of this particular stand. I know you want to say something. But say it before I then come up with a recommendation, what we can.
Chair,
right. Oh, the second one. Okay. Which one? The 3rd one. All right. So we can come down to that one just now. But when we come down, we're going to be spent anyway, because we'll clarify the issue right now. So we'll write to the government or the public works or whoever we could get some machinery from, private sector, but we'll also state in what machines we have and what resources we'll be bringing to the table. to speak to our resources, human
Well, here
resource,
we are,
machinery
and
resource,
here's where we're going
and
to take
what
a
other
wrap on
resource they can
today's
help us, and
statutory
we
meeting
let them understand
of
the
the
urgency
Georgetown
and the
Mayor
importance of
and
this
City
matter.
Council here to keep
That we hold the
market
space
in.
and we want to have this in
Remember to
place,
share
but we
the
don't
live
want it to be a
and get
significant cost
conversations going
on the
as the
otherwise
decisions that are
burden
taken at this forum
coffers of the council, which
definitely
we really would
impact
make sense.
your
So
living in the
please
city
take with that.
as a citizen. Okay,
Whenever
on
you
behalf
write a
of
letter,
Corda
you wish
Jones,
to share
my name is Malcolm
share it
Ferreira,
maybe before you
and
send
we'll
it
be
out,
back
so
with
we
you,
could
God willing,
kind words in
next
whatever fashion
Until
to be
then,
able to allow us
have a good day.
to get what we want. And